Somewhere in a quiet neighborhood, a crow is watching you right now, memorizing every detail of your face. It will remember you tomorrow, next year, and possibly for the rest of its life. Scientists discovered something so unsettling about crow memory that it changed how we understand animal minds forever. What if a single bad moment with a bird meant that bird's entire family would remember your face for generations? This isn't folklore or superstition. It's been proven, tested, and documented by scientists who never expected the results. In the world of animal intelligence, one bird stands apart from nearly every other creature on Earth. Crows are not just clever. They may be one of the most emotionally complex animals alive today. Their brains are small, but what they can do with them defies everything we once believed about birds. Decades ago, a team of scientists in Seattle set out to test exactly how far crow memory could go. What they discovered would prove that crows don't just recognize danger, they recognize the individual who caused it. And the story of how they proved it is stranger than anyone could have imagined. It all started with a rubber mask, a bird trap, and an experiment that would haunt an entire crow population. In 2006, wildlife biologist John Marsluff wanted to know if crows could tell humans apart by their faces alone. So he and his team put on strange identical rubber masks and captured wild crows around campus. The crows struggled, cawed loudly, and were released completely unharmed. But they never forgot the face behind the mask. Weeks later, researchers walked the same paths wearing the same masks, and chaos erupted instantly. Crows dove at their heads, screamed alarm calls, and mobbed the masked researchers on site. But when researchers wore a different, unfamiliar mask, the crows completely ignored them. The birds weren't reacting to humans in general. They were targeting one specific face. This meant crows could store a human face in memory and retrieve it with startling precision. And the experiment didn't stop there. It revealed something even more disturbing about how far that memory could travel. Years passed, yet the hostility toward that one mask never faded. It only seemed to grow stronger. To understand why, scientists had to look inside the crow brain itself, and what they found was extraordinary. Crows possess a brain region called the pallium, and it functions strikingly like the human neocortex. Relative to body size, a crow's brain is nearly as large and complex as a chimpanzee's. This gives them the neural hardware for facial recognition, problem-solving, and something rare, long-term emotional memory. When a crow sees a threatening face, that image gets locked into a part of the brain tied to fear and danger. It's the same neurological system that helps humans remember the face of someone who once hurt us. But crows take this ability somewhere humans never could. They teach it to others who were never even there. This is where the story stops being about memory and starts becoming something far more chilling. In the Seattle study, only a handful of crows were ever actually captured and released by the masked researcher. Yet within a few years, the number of crows attacking that same mask had multiplied dramatically. Crows that were never trapped, never harmed, and hadn't even hatched yet, still recognized the dangerous face. Somehow, the knowledge of a single threatening human had spread through an entire crow community. Parent crows were teaching their chicks who to fear, passing down a warning like a family legend. Older crows scolded younger ones near the masked figure, using loud alarm calls as a lesson in danger. This is called cultural transmission, knowledge passed not through instinct, but through observation and teaching. Very few animals on Earth are known to teach abstract danger this way, especially across generations. 15 years after the original masked encounter, Marsluff's team tested the same mask again. The mobbing hadn't stopped. It had spread across an even wider area of the city. Crows that had never personally seen the mask still attacked on sight, as if the memory was inherited. It raised an eerie question. How long can a single human mistake live on in the mind of a species? But crow memory isn't only about fear. It works just as powerfully in the opposite direction. In cities around the world, people have formed genuine friendships with wild crows through simple acts of kindness. One woman in Seattle fed the same crow family for years, and one day they left her a gift. A shiny button, a small bead, even scraps of foil began appearing on her windowsill regularly. Crows appeared to be repaying kindness with tokens, almost like a primitive form of gratitude. Scientists still debate whether this is intentional gratitude or simple association, but the pattern keeps repeating worldwide. Whether it's fear or affection, one truth remains: crows never treat a familiar human face as a stranger. This raises an unsettling thought. Every person a crow encounters may be quietly filed away forever. Unlike most birds, crows appear to hold something resembling a permanent social ledger of every human they meet. And they don't just remember individuals. They seem to understand human behavior in surprisingly sophisticated ways. Crows have been observed dropping walnuts onto crosswalks, letting passing cars crack them open safely. They wait for the light to change, then swoop down to collect their cracked reward, unharmed. This level of planning requires understanding cause, effect, timing, and risk, traits once thought exclusive to primates. Crows also use tools, bending twigs into hooks to pull insects from tight crevices in bark. In laboratory tests, crows solved multi-step puzzles that many primates struggled to complete. Their intelligence isn't scattered instinct. It's structured, adaptable, and startlingly close to human reasoning. Perhaps most haunting of all, crows appear to grieve, and even hold something like funerals for their dead. When a crow dies, others gather silently around the body, sometimes for several minutes at a time. Researchers believe this behavior helps the flock learn and remember what killed their companion. If a human was involved in that death, that human's face may be remembered as a permanent threat. It means a single unfortunate moment could brand a person as dangerous in the eyes of an entire flock. And that reputation, once formed, may never truly disappear, not in one crow's lifetime, or several. Which brings us back to the most shocking discovery buried inside the original Seattle experiment. Researchers eventually confirmed that crow grudges can last well beyond a single generation, passed down like inherited memory. Some crows targeted the masked researcher for over 17 years, long after the original birds had died. The crows attacking now had never personally encountered the danger, only inherited the warning through the flock. In other words, a mistake made once could echo through crow society for the rest of a human lifetime. Somewhere in Seattle, that same mask is likely still being remembered, watched for, and feared by crows today. What began as a simple science experiment revealed something no one expected: animals capable of holding memory like folklore. Crows don't just survive in our cities. They study us, remember us, and quietly judge our every move. Every smile, every threat, every small act of kindness may already be written into a memory that outlives us. The next time a crow watches you a little too closely, remember, it may already know exactly who you are. And somewhere, passed quietly from one generation to the next, your face may already be part of their story.